All right. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna do that.
3 minutes. Please silence your phones.
I'm going to stay on Sue's good side. I'm under surveillance right now.
Her name. She always, yeah, she participated in a lot of things. She really participated in a lot of She's a very nice young woman. Got a lot of beautiful people there.
1 minute. Please be sure your phones are on silent.
I will come to my name.
Good morning. Good morning. It is 10:30 and we will begin with the goal of ending by 11:30, which is always our goal, so we'll start promptly. Please be sure that your phones are on silent so I'm not hearing music in the middle of the show up here. Okay. Good morning. I want to welcome everybody who's here in the Longwood Room and who will be watching on the community app at some point in the future to the September meeting of the all residents of Village on the Green. I want to welcome especially anyone who's here for the first time. Do we have anybody here for the first time? If you'd wave at us. Okay. Those two are waving at each other because they're friends, not because they're new. But I do not see any new residents here with us today. As you have new neighbors, if you would encourage them to come, that this is the place to get the best information, and it's always better to be here because then you can ask questions. You can't ask questions of the app, no one will respond. Okay, here is our agenda for today. Nope, oh, yep, okay. I'm going to start out with a lesson about the Residents Council, because this is the group that you elect to be your voice with management at Village on the Green, both local management and from our provider, LifeSpace-based currently in Texas. This will be new information for new residents, and it will be a refresher, hopefully, for the seasoned residents. Okay. Where did it come from? It's established in our bylaws and also described in Florida Statute 651. I can't read my little print here on the, so I'm reading it off the board. Okay, so in section A of Article 2 or 3, it establishes the association, is that 2 or 3? 2.
Double vision.
Cataract, that's the word. Cataract surgery coming up in October. Let's see. Article A defines it as representing the association, which is all of us that have residents here. It's represented by a residence council, which is elected by our membership, and every resident here is entitled to membership during their residency while they are here, so are also then a voting member. Under the bylaws, this is what we're supposed to be able to do, okay? In Article 3, Section A, we maintain timely and effective communication with the residents on all matters. We cooperate with management by offering advice and assistance for successful operation of the community. Notice nowhere does it say power. We are advocates. We are advisors. We don't make the rules, okay? And then finally, we work very hard to protect the rights and interests of residents as set forth in Florida Statute Chapter 651 as amended, and also as noted in the VOTG Resident Guide, which you should have received when you signed your contract and moved in. So that's what we're supposed to do. Who is it? That's not as loud, is it? Who is it? Okay. And why are we talking about this? Because we are coming to the point in time where we'll be electing new members or re-electing members, either way, for the 2026 council. And it's time to start thinking about it. So who's on this council? It is 14 voting members, 8 reps that represent a constituency. So the building representatives, the building residents elect their representative, and the committee chairman, of which there are 6, we vote on community-wide. Let me check my notes. I don't want to forget anything important. These 6 committee chairmen are new this year in that we voted to change the bylaws last fall and add all 6 of them to the Residence Council. Prior to that, there had been 2 of them. The Health and Wellness and the Finance Committee chairman had been on the Residence Council, but now all 6 of them are. And they are aligned with, each aligned with a team member. Okay, next. The building and villa reps, as I mentioned, are elected by the constituent, the residents that they serve. So there is one for each of the 6 buildings, A through F, and then one for what we call Villas 1, which is the group of villas on the guard shack side of the Oaks, and Villas 2, which is on the Green Trail side of the Oaks. Okay? And they each have their rep. And so that is a grand total of 8 of us, and they are elected for 1-year terms and can be re-elected twice for a grand total of 3-year terms. Then they need to give somebody else a chance. This election takes place in October, which is why I want you to start thinking about it. And there is a member of the elections committee in each building or villa group to help guide you through the process. The chairman of the elections committee is Carolyn Tolles, who's going to wave at you now from the back row on this side, so you'll know who she is. And she knows who her committee members are and who's assigned to each building or villa group, so you'll know who your elections committee contact is. This person is a wealth of information about the process, about the positions. If they don't know, they will direct you to somebody who does know, and they will help with the balloting when that occurs in October for building and villa reps. Just a minute while I turn the page. The committee chairmen represent these 6 committees: the culinary committee, the finance committee, health and wellness, lifestyle, plant operations, and the sales committee. They are elected also, but they are elected community-wide. So we will have a vote of everybody in the community who is a member of the association, and you are a member because you live here. Okay. This will also be a 1-year term, which can be re-elected for 2 more times for a grand total of 3 years of service. And these elections occur in November. So we elect the building and villa reps first, and then we open up for nominations and election of the committee chairman. You might think that it would be a good idea to do the whole thing at once, but there are several reasons that we can explain to you sometime other than in this meeting. Well, it's good to keep the 2 elections separate from each other.
Sue,
Questions so far? Nancy?
what percentage of the population have to vote for those 6?
Simple majority, I believe. Simple majority.
Majority of people voted.
Right. Simple majority of the people voting. Stan has said that many times, and I should have that tattooed right there. Of the people voted.
Let me just add, where you say it's a total of 3-year service, we have amended it where no one else will stand for the position. The person in the position may continue for 1 more year.
Good point. Did you hear that? Okay. David?
Is there a ballot put out someplace showing who's running for positions so that we can know who to vote for? I've never seen one.
There will be, but at this point, we've not thought all the way through how to share this information prior to the close of nominations, because I think that would be when you would want to know.
Yes.
So with Carolyn's Committee on Elections, we will be sure that that information is out before the close of nominations, so that there can be additional nominations if you so choose. Is that your point?
Well, the point being that up to now, we have not known who is running for any of these positions
Okay.
prior to the time that you're supposed to vote.
We will try to be more transparent and more informative this year.
We'd like to have it more Republican.
Let's don't go down that road. Okay. So with those additions, let me move on to the next. These are the elected people that vote at Residence Council, but there are other people that lead various parts of our organization as well that are not on the Residence Council and are not voters, and I want to remind you who they are. Oh, no, I'm going to talk about the officers first. You might wonder how I managed to get up here and stand in front of you all. Well, it was a mystery to me. But There are 3 officers, the chairman, the vice chairman, and the secretary, who are selected from the 14 members on the residence council by the new council. So this new council will be seated on the December 4th, which is the last residence council meeting of the current 2025 council. After that meeting is adjourned, the new meeting of the new council, the 2026 council, will convene for the single purpose of selecting these 3 officers. And so it comes from the membership of the new residence council. And let me have Richard and Diana stand up and wave to you in case you don't remember or know. Richard Levine, is our vice chairman, and Diana Razlowski has been our outstanding secretary. She's serving in her 2nd year of doing that, and Richard and I are newbies. This is our 1st year of trying to figure this all out. Okay, so that's where they come from. Here are the appointed chairs. These chairs are appointed by the chairman with the approval of the residence council. And they include the bylaws chairman, the elections chairman, the electronic communication chairman, the historical chairman, the library chairman, and the resident service award chairman. Then there are some non-affiliated groups. Now that's such a weird word, but this includes our Foundation Advisory Committee, the Brady Wilkins Scholarship Fund, the Team Member Appreciation Fund, the Florida Life Care Residents Association, or FLICRA, which you've heard us speak of a lot, and the Stable Point Community Services Association, or the Stable Point HOA. I have that one highlighted in yellow because I was hoping that our current rep, Steve Schwartz, would be here today. He told me he was coming, but I don't see him. Anyway, I want to thank him, and when we see him, do thank him. And if he's here, we are going to applaud. In fact, let's applaud like crazy for him. Thank you. This is a 3-year term, and he's coming to the end of his 3rd year in 2025. This is an important position because we pay a large amount of money in dues or fees to the association each year. And so it's important that we are monitoring how that's being spent and listening for. He wasn't here when I told him to turn that off.
He was late.
He was late, and now we know. Yeah. But it's important for a person to be listening for ways that we could get more value out of the money that we are investing. And I'm pleased to announce to you that I have selected, and with the concurrence of Jim, the executive director, and the residence council, our new representative for the 2026 through 2028 service or term. And she also told me she was going to be here, and I don't see her either. This is Debbie McAmer, who you may know as the bird lady, because if you're any place on campus and you see or hear a bird, Debbie knows exactly who it is and what it is and what its migration patterns are and how long it will be around the community, all those things. So she's a great addition to do this. She has past HOA experience in South Florida, and so we're looking forward to her representing us in the next 3 years on the HOA, which meets monthly, so she has a meeting to go to there. So thank you to Debbie, even though she's not here for us to thank. She promised me she was coming too, so they're all sleeping in somewhere. So, I want to bring this to your attention, and I've written this down because it's important to me to say it right. Because we are approaching the time of year when you will select the new reps for 2026, the new reps and the new committee chairman that we vote on. All of these people are residents and volunteers. and some are not. So there are some vacancies coming up, and we will let you know what those are as we let you know who's interested in serving. So I'm asking you to think about your role. What could you do in 2026 with Village on the Green? For those of you who immediately thought to yourself, that's not for me, please keep listening, because there's a little bit more I want to say. There are 3 most common comments that I hear when I have asked this question, and that I have asked myself this question when somebody said to me, I had these 3 comments as well. First of all, I came here to retire. I heard this yesterday from one of my good friends sitting over on the far side. And I've heard it from many of us, and I've said it as well. My response is and was, me too. Oh, I came here to retire. But I've realized that although my career and paycheck have come to an end, my brain has not come to an end. It's still working, and it's important to keep it working. You all know that I'm addicted to Jeopardy, and I watch it every night, trying to keep my brain working. And serving in one of these positions helps keep your brain working. It's important for physical health and mental health, and the satisfaction that comes from knowing that you helped to solve a problem or made a difference is priceless. So I encourage you to set that argument aside and think up another one. Here's the next argument you'll say. I don't have the skills to fulfill this position. I can tell you that nobody has all the skills that are needed, and that's why it's helpful to be part of a team. A team within the building or villa group if you're a rep, a team within the residence council if you're part of that group. You are not there alone, and there are residents in the buildings and villa groups that can help with various tasks, so you can carve this down into manageable pieces. Over in Building A, I have somebody that manages all the communications, and I have somebody else that plans all our parties. I have somebody else that does our decorating, so the building rep doesn't have to do it all. There are people that are willing to do smaller portions if they don't want to do the whole project. And that just leaves the building rep or the villa rep as the conductor of the orchestra with lots of other people playing the instruments. Okay. For the chairs, there are committee members that come usually from most of the buildings and villas with their own points of view and experiences to help you as chair. Again, you are the conductor of the orchestra, you are playing all the instruments. Okay. Here's my personal experience. This is the one that kept me up at 2 o'clock in the morning to try to tell you a good story. Okay. I have no legal training. I was not even familiar with the Florida statutes, much less that there was one that's important to us, the 651. I learned that from Basil. I have no financial experience beyond managing my own budget and my own portfolio. I have some experience in managing a facility as a homeowner for 50 years, but I've never been part of an HOA. I didn't even know what HOA stood for until I got here and became educated. My skills are that I'm comfortable speaking my mind in front of a group, in front of a small group, in front of one person, like the executive director. I'm not shy about that. And as I have had many people attest to me, I know how to run a meeting. Those are my 2 skills that I brought to this job. And everything else that I've learned and know how to do, I've learned from the other people that are on the council, or that have been on the council, or that have life experience to tell me what I need to know. When I get a balance sheet, I go straight to Steve Cassetta. and I say, tell me which lines on here I need to pay attention to. Those are the kinds of things that I need help with. When I needed to know about what's an HOA, I went to Willie Hallows and Emery Rosenbluth and said, what's this? And they educated me. That's what's out there. There's so much wisdom, so much brilliance here on our campus, and it's just a matter of asking. The last thing, the other third thing, is I haven't been here long enough. I don't know anything. I need to get the lay of the land. Well, I'm going to say that I had been here exactly 4 months when 5 previous Building A reps came to me and said, it's your turn, we've done it. So here I am, knowing very little, very wet behind the ears, but with lots of people to reach out to get answers and help. So don't let that be an excuse that you try to pass off on us because we're not taking it. So, how will you find your spot here at Village on the Green? Talk to people. Talk to current reps and chairmen. Talk to people on their committees. Talk to people who have been here a while and can tell you how it used to be and that they liked or that they didn't like. Talk to people who are here newly and are bringing new ideas. There are committees for each of these chairmen that meet monthly. The date and time is in the Green Horizons. All of them are open to all of us, and you are invited to come and listen as a visitor and to comment, because they usually call on you, if you raise your hand, usually, and learn what it's about and see if it's something that whets your interest or not. And maybe if you decide that it's not time yet to be the chairman, maybe next year you can show an interest in serving on the committee, so that the following year when someone is up here having this conversation, you'll know that maybe it will be your time at that point. They will meet again, let's see, some of the committees have met for September, but some will meet next week. And there are meetings in October and November that are prior to the close of the nominations time. So there's plenty of time for you to go and listen and see what's going on, and go to more than one. That's the end of my lecture. Any questions? Did you keep listening? Absolutely. Okay, all right. So I will not accept any of those 3 excuses. You'll have to think of something else if you want to tell me that you don't want to do it. Okay, moving on. You'd have to be living under a rock to have not heard that the resident engagement survey is going on this week and next week here at Village on the Green. There are 2 important points in it, or parts of it, that I want to draw to your attention. All of it is important, but what's of most importance is that all-important question, which is, would you recommend Village on the Green to friends and family? This is the question that marketing uses to share our response with prospective residents. If you can give it a 9 that says to the world, I'm happy here and I would be glad to recommend it, or if you can give it 10, which is, I really love it here and I would love for you to be my neighbor, those are the 2 scores that are of greatest value for the marketing team. The other good place to focus on are the comments. Here's where you could write your narrative of the things that you are happy about, that you want to give compliments on, or suggestions that you have for what you'd like to see different or improved here. or even not complaints, but concerns, things that you think are a problem that you would like to see addressed by one of the suggestions that you made. So here's a place to do your narrative. And when you look at the little box, you think, there's not enough room there for me to say everything that's on my mind. But as you keep typing, the text will scroll up, and there's plenty of room underneath. So I wrote 3 paragraphs and did not run out of room. So there's plenty of room there for you to do it. And I had a good recommendation from my brilliant friend Susan Craig, who said she puts hers in a Word document so that she can organize all her thoughts, and then she copies and pastes it into the survey form. So thank you for that suggestion. That saved me lots of time as I figured that, as I followed your good idea. Okay. This will continue, let's say it opened on Monday, and it will continue through a week from Friday. There are events every day to help reward us for taking it and motivate us to take it if we haven't taken it yet. A big motivator is a competition between the buildings and the villa groups to see who can get to 100% participation first. There is a team member assigned to every building and every villa group to help guide us through this. And in my building, she's knocking on the doors for people. I don't happily knock on the doors, but she's there knocking on the door and saying, got my iPad, let's take your survey right now. So we're getting some good support, and we're looking for a much higher percentage participation than we had last spring, when it was 67% or so. We have a past history of it being up in the 90s participation, and so we're trying to get to that again. Okay. Any questions on that? Oh, good. In case you're thinking it's almost lunchtime and we're maybe getting hungry, I put a cookie slide in again like I did last month. This cookie is a little bit farther gone, or a little bit smaller than last time's cookie, because I've taken another bite out of the cookie in this last month since we were all together. And here's some of the things that have been going on to try to address communication gaps and issues since we were together a month ago. There's still half of the cookie or more which has not been eaten. There's still plenty left to do, but I do feel like I made some progress in the last month. Here we go. The first thing is in the area of Blackboard. You may have noticed that there are many more Blackboard announcements coming out than there were previously. It's not just for maintenance anymore. It's now being activities and events as well. There were 3 Blackboard announcements about the survey on Monday. If you did not get them in either text or email or both form, you need to get with your building or villa rep, and they will help you work to whatever team member can help get you connected. This is going to be used much more as we go forward, and you're going to want to be in the know if this is our major communication tool, our major immediate communication tool. Okay? If you do not have access to Blackboard because of not having that kind of tech, or not interested in using that tech, comfortable using that tech, these announcements are also now being posted on our community TV channel, on channel 3 if you have senior TV. If you don't get them on Blackboard, let me encourage you to check channel 3 a couple times a day to see what's out there, because that will be our only other way of trying to reach you, short of knocking on your door and handing you something written, which will always take longer than if you can see it on TV or get it by text or email. If you have Spectrum, this will not work. We do not have access to put notices on Spectrum. But if you get Senior TV, it's channel 3. And it scrolls up here right across from Sue's desk as well. So if you're up here and just stop and take a look and see if there's anything interesting scrolling before you go on to wherever you're headed in the clubhouse. Very good. To let everybody know, who doesn't know already, Sue Popejoy is out right now. As of today, she is having hip replacement surgery and expects to be back on the 25th. So she'll be gone for 2 weeks. Philip is filling in for her. She has trained him as best she can, but there may be some jolts in the road over the next couple of weeks, so grant him grace and figure that we're going to have to get some of the answers that we usually go to Sue for from other locations for the next couple of weeks. So just be aware. You may have noticed that there have been some big improvements in the Uniguest app in the last month in terms of the information that is there. There's been substantial time spent in deleting things that were out of date, adding things that were missing, and trying to arrange it in a logical way so it'll be very user-friendly for you. If you find something that's not right, something that's old, something that's missing, please let me know and I will work on correcting it. But it is substantially cleaner and more up to date than it was a month ago. I'll tell you a secret. You know who's got the best access to Uniguest? Liz. So if there's things that need to be changed or updated, that's where I go. And she's quick about fixing things. She's very comfortable with it, having used it other places. She's got access to the whole thing. So that's my secret that I learned, again, this month. And how did I find out? Asking questions. Ask questions. Okay. Green Horizons. The content and the layout, I think, has improved substantially over the 2 issues that we got in late July and early August that were not pleasant. There we go. But the last 2 have been much better, and that will continue to improve. Angela is still handling all of that on top of her HR job, on top of her lifestyles. Interim activities, so she's got a lot going on. There were distribution issues with it this last time, and there are horror stories that can be told about where they were found, where they were not supposed to be, and where they were not, where they were supposed to be. But Tommy has had all of this explained to him in great detail, and he is on it. He will fix it, and we should not see these problems, these distribution problems, again. A second thing that I learned is that the team members were not receiving copies of Green Horizons. Well, how are they supposed to know that there's transportation demands, or this, or that, and the other? Because they were operating in the dark. So they have been added now to the distribution list so that they will receive copies of their own copies of Green Horizons, not something they have to scavenge from someplace else, just like the residents do. And I think that'll be a big step toward smoothing out some of the issues that we've had. Then finally, I hope you've started to take advantage of the Coffee with Jim gatherings that he's now doing on every other Tuesday at 10:30 in the Heron. Had one yesterday. I'm going to tell you, because he's not here listening, that the first one 2 weeks ago was much better attended than yesterday. And if we don't show up, we have no excuse of saying we didn't know something, and he might think we're not interested, so he'll quit having them. So help me by showing up so that he can answer our questions. It only lasts about 20 minutes, half an hour, but we can make him stay longer if we have more questions. So keep that in mind. Okay, Jerry?
And so I understand that there was wonderful food when it was in the lounge, not in the Heron Club, and people came in, sat in the Heron Club and didn't realize it. So I think if we put those two things together and advertise that we not only have coffee, but some delightful Danish and things, we might entice a few more as well.
Good point. You can always get a turnout when we got food offered. And it's true, they had outdone themselves again with a nice spread, but we'll need to either move it over onto the bar so we can get at it, or put up a big sign saying, food prepared. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, questions on communication? Ann?
On the TV channel posting the crawl, can we go directly to Sue Polkjoy when she's available?
Yes,
Back to being the,
yes.
don't have to go ahead.
You don't have to go through anything. Yeah.
So,
And she reports directly to Jim.
so,
Can you hear the
Nancy, go away, that means.
I found that, Philip, couldn't do the Blackboard text, but Sandy got me on very easily.
Sandy, yeah.
Okay, good point.
Repeat it.
Sandy for putting yourself on the Blackboard recipient.
We couldn't hear Ann at all.
So recapping what was just said there, that Philip is able to do the crawl, but he's not able to post on Blackboard. Sandy Garbertini posts on Blackboard. So if that's who you need to have while Sue is out, that's where you should go to have it done. Okay. What did Ann say that I should be repeating?
Where to go for the scrolling? The scrolling across
Oh,
Channel 3.
Where's the scrolling? It is across the bottom of the picture, just like the football scores will scroll along the bottom when there's a game going on the screen
And
itself.
Philip does that.
And Philip is now trained to do that. We'll hope it works. Okay. Now, all right. Phyllis, and while I'm answering Phyllis's question, Jerry, you can start making your way up here. Yes, ma'am.
okay, I filled out the survey very rapidly and didn't put anything in the comments. Is there some way to retrieve?
I have been told no. The question is, she would love to go back and put a little bit more in her survey. Can you open it a second time after you've submitted it? And I'm told the answer is no, that once it's in, it's in. Put your slide up and you can see what picture I got for you.
And the booster.
I was just gonna say that, if you have comments you want to have made known and you miss getting them on the survey, you can still make your feelings known to, corporate by contacting the head of resident engagement, I would think. She would be,
So everything is.
that is Lauren,
Thank you.
somebody or other. Contact me if you wanna know. Phyllis, I will get you her information, okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to repeat that question for people who are down here. Susan says there is still a way to have your comments passed on to somebody who can do something about it at the corporate level, and she has the contact name and person for that. So see Susan if you have more information that you want to have added.
Thank you so much, Susan. And I love the graphic. I also love going to the mailbox, usually, unless it's bill season. But I just went to our red mailbox before I came, and I had these wonderful, wonderful envelopes, as well as a $20 bill that was in there. And I am getting very, very excited because, quite frankly, as of the end of August, our total was not even 20% of what we hoped to get. We're at $23,900. And our final goal is $125,000. So hopefully this will take us way over that, and that means we're 1/5 of the way there. But our participation, friends, last year it was the lowest we've ever had. We've heard that we've had some trouble with our survey in terms of participation, and now it's time to absolutely swing the pendulum the other way. As of the end of August, we had 17% participation in our Team Appreciation Fund. Now, I understand fully that many people just have it in the cycle of giving and their psyche and their, you know, it isn't like we're bad people. It's just time now to really step it up and to blast off, as Sue said. So you'll be seeing more about the fund, about our giving, about our percentage of participation. But I don't know, just think about this rain. And it happened again last night. I headed out at a meeting last night and dropped Lee off right at the annex. And it was raining, you know, it was just a mess. And he was having trouble getting the umbrella open. And here comes, and I wish I knew her name, Angela's assistant in HR. Beautiful young lady. No, she's beautiful. I don't know her name, but here she comes. It's 5:10, 5:15 after work hours. She walked out, came right to the door. She said, knowingly, how would, I don't know. She said, Mr. Evans, could I help you get into the annex? And I don't know, think about all the times that Jackie and Jonas and all the others who have to get out in this rain to help us get in. And that's just such a minuscule part of our team that helps make life better here. And it isn't like they have to do it like it's listed in some job description, number 10, gets soaking wet. But it is job description number 1, help make our lives better. And so I can't encourage you enough and help our buildings, help our villas, help everyone here to remind us and to be remembering that gratitude is where it really is. It's part of our own mental health. And I certainly hope that next week I'll have lots more mail and that will continue till the end of our campaign on November 30th. Somebody did ask me what I do with the money, since we're a cashless entity, and it really helped pay my way to feet. No. I have an envelope that's designated, and Beck has asked me when I get all the cash then to just write a check, and we'll do that. But I did notice what happened. I know exactly where this came from. We had a couple that we took to dinner, a young couple from Tampa, and he said, how do I say thank you? And I said, well, if you'd like to leave a tip, you can do that. And he dropped that in the mailbox. And so however we can, I hope we're saying thank you, knowing that around the second week in December, we'll have a lot of very, very happy employees who'll be able to help their families have a better holiday. Thanks.
Susan has a question, I believe.
Yeah, hi. In years gone by, there's been a kind of a guide published that says if you live in this.
Right, and I have published that a couple times, but I'll be glad to do it again. Absolutely. Generally, and we didn't do it by like this size villa or whatever, it was generally a single person giving $700 plus, a couple then, or 2 people in a unit giving $1,400 and more. And many people have been very, very generous. There's a gentleman in Village on the Green, fairly new, who's keeping a spreadsheet. He did it just because he wanted to know what it would have been like eating out and paying for transportation and doing all of those things. And so he said, yeah, what is the recommended giving? And I mentioned that. He said, you mean per month? I said, I know. I said, if we could get that from 90% of people, 95% for a year, our staff would be ecstatic. He said, wait until you see the spreadsheet. And I said, I really would like to see it. It's absolutely fascinating. And then I always have one more thing. And when it said in the boxes, when Sue talked about the survey, and it said there was a third line, you could put your concerns, your compliments, but if there's any staff member you'd like to highlight, that's where it should go, so that again, they can get extra appreciation. And the fact that now they can get their team, they can get the Green Horizon, we can finally share those stories that we've been writing about the staff, they can now share it with their staff. We've had to round them up and give them to Tommy, and it just blossomed. So we're trying to round up nurses this month so that we'll be focusing on the nurses for the next couple of Green Horizons. Thanks.
Okay, Stan? talk about 9/11?
Good morning. Just a quick reminder, tomorrow morning at 8:30 here in the Longwood Room, Chaplain Tom will be hosting a Remembrance Day. Our local firehouse will be here in attendance to honor them. So it's a chance to come out and remember what happened on that terrible day and to share. Afterwards, there will be food still available in the lounge so you can share your memories of what has gone on. In the past, we had it outside in front of a flag and we had candles for it all. But now, because of the construction, you can see we will be doing it in here. I hope to see you tomorrow. I know it's a bit early for some of you. Make an extra event and try and be here to share this terrible moment, but as we reflect on how great our nation is. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan, who is recovering from pneumonia and hospital stay and homebound stay and now back with us. But gently, let's have you come back to full recovery. But he has stayed on top of this 9/11 event with Chaplain Tom in the planning. It'd be awfully wonderful. Awfully wonderful. It would be very wonderful if we pack the room tomorrow. We really appreciate our firefighters who come for us like daily, and it'd be nice to show them just how much we care. Okay. Next, and coming close to the end, Ann has some things to share with us about the other lifestyle activities that are coming up in September. And there's a whole bunch coming up in October too, but we're not telling you about them at all, just September because there's so many. This is the louder one.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Well, welcome. Now, the new Green Horizons will be coming out shortly, and I encourage you to read the Green Horizons because all these little details are in there. But coming up on the 13th is the St. Luke's Brass Band concert. Where am I? That's the Cry of the Celtics. And the bus taking off for that is at 12:45. That's a free program. The show begins at 2 o'clock. On Sunday the 14th is the Pirates Dinner. The bus departs at 2:45, and that was $25 for the dinner and the show, and that would have been a sign-up thing for us. On the 15th is the start of the new water aerobics class with Jamie Fields. That's Monday and Thursday at 10:30 in the morning, and that doesn't replace anything that's already going on. It just adds to it. It's a different type of aerobic than our other Sweating with Helen.
And I beg to interrupt, and I'm so sorry, but we were told yesterday that it does replace Thursday.
It does replace Thursday?
Jerry, I'm still working on that.
Okay.
There does seem to be confusion about whether there will be the two classes on Thursday or not. There was a lot of strong opinion on this, and we hope to be able to have both of them as we have been indicated was going to happen, but I need to follow through on that.
Thank you.
Steve?
I was told the same thing yesterday by high authority. We were gonna have 5 classes, not 4.
We're pursuing this.
So I think whoever's made that decision should be reconsidered.
On it.
Not for appreciation.
You can see the challenge of being the lifestyle representative. Thank you both for that. It's just impossible sometimes to keep up with all this stuff. The magical dining at Figs, I have next door neighbors who went the other night to that and said that it was very, very elegant and wonderful and just delicious. That bus goes at 4 o'clock. On the 23rd, this is a rebooking of something that had been scheduled before that Pam Bichelle does with Health and Wellness. But it's the Kitty Beautiful Cafe, and caregivers are available to accompany people who want to go to that. That bus leaves at 12 o'clock noon. Now, oh goody come, here we go. Rosh Hashanah is at 5 o'clock, that's a sign-up event. And it's also the September birthday party, and that's been confirmed. There was a question about that, but they are both the same night. And the birthday party is in the stable, I believe, at 5 o'clock. Okay, you got the Second Harvest Food Bank program is from 1 to 2 in the Longwood Room on Wednesday, the 24th. The 25th, the driving range lunch leaves at 2 o'clock. The bus leaves at 2 o'clock for that. That apparently is a very exciting thing to go to. Our new lifestyle member, Myrna Newman, told us about it the other day. She said, you know, the lunch is nice, the driving range, there's a lot to do. Anybody who's a golfer, I think, would enjoy doing that. The Orlando Science Museum, that bus leaves at 12 p.m. And then the Orlando Shakes, the bus leaves at 2 p.m. Okay, and that's it for September. Yes, we have things coming in October. Can I just mention, well, there's an invitation to a dinner on October 11th. Okay, it's in the Green Horizons.
I'll speak more to that.
Thank you.
Any September questions for Ann? Lots of details in the Green Horizons, so
Well,
read
there's
it.
something that made me shake or something. We'll find out on that in a moment.
Okay. A couple that, I like this one better, it talks louder. A couple last announcements and then we will adjourn on time.
Sue, I have a question. I think that Tom McGree, our chaplain, is doing a program on Judaism. I think he told me that was the 29th.
I believe that is on your list. Do you want to, do you have it handy?
The one on the 29th?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, I think you're right, noting that there's a, Chaplain Tom is doing a presentation on Judaism on the 29th. So again, watch for the details on the Green Horizons because they will be there.
And his last one on Islam was so informative.
And this follows a series that he's doing, and Islam was the previous one, and very informative. Very informative.
They're all in the other dimension.
It's all on the Green Horizons. Read it with a ruler, go down each line so you don't miss something. Okay, you've had lots of stuff come hanging on your door in the last week or so, and you're going to get one more piece that we think is important to you, but we held it to the after this meeting so that it wouldn't get lost with your other stuff, and so you'll have an introduction to it. One of the FLICRA committee members, Bill Stowe, has put together a wonderful description of what FLICRA is and what it's all about, what it means to you, all those kinds of things. This is really important because we are moving toward a legislative session this spring, which is definitely going to consider something that is of great importance to us. Basil is representing us on the study committee, the drafting committee, to put together the language for the legislation to go to committee chairman, and then on into hopefully the whole House and Senate this spring. And FLICRA is our lobbying group that represents all of the residents, all of the 30,000 plus residents of CCRCs in Florida. And so, because we're going to be coming to you and expecting you to know a little bit about FLICRA when we continue to ask for your help, Bill has put together a great paper here for you to read. So please do take the time to read it and don't put it immediately in the round file. And then hang on to it, because come January, maybe even December, I'm going to talk about it a lot. See.
While you're mentioning FlightGraph, I just wanted to say quickly, on their website, which you all have access to, there are educational modules. And the third module, although it's pretty long, it's 46 minutes, on finance is excellent. And I would recommend it to anybody. I would recommend it to Accounting Student 101. It really is good and well done. You should take the time to look at it.
I'm thinking about offering it as a program, not part of the All Residents meeting program, but its own standalone program to come, and then to have Basil and Steve here to answer questions that it might raise for you about the financing of our properties. We've all invested a bunch of money to live here, and we continue to invest every month with our fees. And so having good knowledge about that and being good fiscal managers of our own money is important. So you'd like to move here and never think about it again, but that's not healthy or safe. So you can go to the FlightGraph website and watch these yourself, or you can also watch for us to have a community program on it sometime in the next month or so. Basil.
Sue, I also want to point out that there's a brand new e-newsletter dated the 8th that's available to every resident to go out to FlightGraph. And it gives examples of where the commissioner for OIR and senators have visited various people. In fact, our senator was a latest appointment last week. So it's an example of how FlightGraph can be a robust input into the community. And so I really would commend that to you as well as the monitors.
Good point.
The website.
And everybody is a member. Yeah. And if you are in your first year here, your dues have been paid for as part of your closing package by the foundation here. And then in December, it will be on your bill for you to renew your membership if you choose to do so. So, I mean, you have access to all of this information, and it's becoming increasingly important for us to know about this. Okay, then something else that I told Basil I would mention, and that is the Brady Wilkins Appreciation Dinner is coming up on October the 11th. And invitations have gone out to the new residents, and their RSVP date is this Friday. And at that point, all the open seats will be open for all the rest of us. So watch for that so that you can join in this if you would like. It's a limited seating. I think he's got 75 seats this year, which is less than in the past, but that comes available to you after Friday this week. And if you see new residents who have not RSVP'd, encourage them to come and to hear what it's all about. This is the Brady Wilkins Scholarship Fund. It's exactly 11:30. Does anybody have anything they want to say quickly? If not, we are adjourned.